What's up, guys? This is Crazy Kev here. I just wanted to give you guys a quick rundown of my bare knuckle boxing 82 experience that was main evented by Mike Perry and Jeremy Stevens. I was working the media that night. I was able to meet Ariel Helwani. I was able to meet a lot of other media members as well. And, just all around got to experience the press conference with Conor McGregor, David Feldman, and, just being in the room in general was just awesome and a surreal experience. So, going to break that all down. I'm also going to talk about UFC 320. That was also the same night. So we're going to talk about that card, my thoughts about it, and just kind of break it down a little bit and kind of go from there. So first things first, let's get into bare knuckle here. With bare knuckle, I just want to give a big shout out to everyone that was able to get me in, work the media. I mean, this is my fourth event I've covered with bare knuckle. I mean, every event's just getting better and better. I'm not just saying that to kind of like, whatever with bare knuckle. I mean, it's genuinely just a great show. It's not even like the UFC. Like it's truly brutal. It's like I said, you just got to kind of experience it to get that feel, get that vibe. It's a lot of fun. And like I said, if you've never been to bare knuckle, highly recommend going because it's just a lot of fun. And then, like I said, it's a different vibe than MMA. I think you guys would truly enjoy it. If you guys like violence, it definitely brings the violence. And like it's almost like a street fight style vibe. You know what I mean? Like if you guys like watching like street fights and whatever, like I don't know. Like I guess that's kind of the best way I would describe it. And like I said, to me, I personally enjoy it. You're going to get a brawl. You're going to get a knockout. You're going to see someone get cut open. You're going to see blood. Like, you know what I mean? Like if that's what you're into, like if you're into some real gritty fighters, like I said, bare knuckles for you, man. And I enjoy it. So I definitely am lucky enough to be the media there. I've been able to be the media a couple times, and I'm very grateful. And like I said, shout out to David Feldman and everyone that's a part of the promotion. And like I said, the people that are able to get me in for the media, I greatly appreciate it. And I'm not just saying that to say it, for you guys to, whatever. I really enjoy it a lot, and thank you guys for that. Let's get into the big thing here. So I start off the night, get in my media seats, and one of the very first people I see is Mr. Ariel Helwani himself. Now, this is really funny because Ariel Helwani earlier in the week, someone asked him a question like, "What's your thoughts on Crazy Kev?" And
Just Harris says, and this guy's been asking this question for the last 3 months, and this seems like the appropriate time to finally answer the question so that I could finally have him off my fucking page. Hi, Ariel. What are your thoughts on Crazy Kev?
Who? Who's Crazy Kev?
The fucking weirdo guy online.
He's a Twitter dude.
Doing what?
Breaks news, isn't always right.
Oh, he's like an
Sometimes he is.
aggregator?
No, I don't think aggregator. I don't know what it is. Reporter.
Oh, this is a good question. I like this one.
yeah,
Joe Murray.
before that, before he answered, he said like, "Oh yeah, like someone's been asking this question for 3 months, so I'm finally going to answer to get him off his back." And he was just like, "Who? And you know what I mean? Like, whatever. You know what I mean? Ariel Helwani's a super big guy. Like, I don't really expect him to know who I am, anyways. But like, I'm sure he's seen me before on Twitter because like I've had plenty of fight news. I've had plenty of viral stories. People from Uncrowned have wrote about me before. So like, I don't think he like knows about me, but like I'm sure he's like seen my account. You know what I mean? So like, it is what it is. You know what I mean? That's kind of the reaction I expected. But then he started like dissing me a little bit, call me a weirdo guy, whatever. You know what I mean? If that's his opinion, it is what it is. But when I met him, I was just like, "Hey, Ariel, it's Crazy Kev. I was the guy that you were calling out on your show." And I just left it at that. And he was like, he just was pretty much like mind blown by the whole situation. He was just like, "Wow, like, like you're him." And I was like, "Yeah, like I'm Crazy Kev. And, it's nice to meet you finally." And he was just like, "Wow, like, where are you from?" And I just told him where I was from. And, I just asked him if we could get a picture together, and told him, I appreciate all your good work and keep it up. That was it. You know what I mean? And yeah, I saw again on another clip, he was like trying to be like, "Do you know who I am?" Trust me, I did not say, "Do you know who I am?" to Ariel Helwani, for God's sakes, or just even in general. Like, I'm not that kind of guy to come up with people and be like, "Yeah, like, do you know who I am?" Like, I have 20K followers on Twitter. That doesn't really mean a lot. Like, it does, obviously. Like, I'm very grateful to have 20K followers, but like, you know what I mean? Like, that's not like I've been doing this full time because I have 20K followers, or like I have 13,000 followers on Instagram. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not like some special guy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, maybe I am to some people, but like guy like Ariel Helwani, like, yeah, like, you know who I am? Like, I know, like, on his show, he kind of backtracked, like, saying it, and I think the guys on the show were kind of, like, trying to push it a little bit more to kind of, whatever, try to start something, and even Ariel said it, like, "Hey, guys, like, I think you guys are trying to do something a little bit more," but, yeah, Ariel was very nice, very respectful, kinda exactly what I expected him to kinda be like in person, and, I got nothing bad to say about the dude, you know what I mean? And, whatever those guys are trying to start on the show, I don't really know what their beef is, but it is what it is, you know what I mean? I don't know those guys. I only knew the bald dude, Connor or whatever. I've seen him make some memes on Twitter. I genuinely don't know the other guys. I think it's like Peter Carroll, and then there's some New York Rick or something like that. That's what I was told is the other guy. Again, I think Peter makes some articles and stuff. I think I follow him on Twitter, but New York Rick, couldn't tell you who that guy is. And that's not me big dogging him. That's not me trying to like cause any shots. Genuinely don't know who that dude is, but I mean, if he's working for Ariel, he must be doing something right. So yeah, that's my take on Ariel and those guys and those clips.
Let's see. What else, Frank? What else?
Alec in the Slice. Ariel, I saw you met Crazy Kev over the weekend.
Oh, yes. I saw Crazy Kev. Yes. I saw a lot of people at the event. Crazy Kev came up to me. He was wearing these funky glasses, and he said, you know who I am? And initially I said no.
He did.
And he
Sorry,
said,
that was his greeting?
Crazy.
Do you know who I am?
I'm paraphrasing. It's me. It's Crazy Kev. You know, it was like.
Oh, those fighting words.
That's tough.
And
They squared.
And then we took.
It's tough.
Yeah, we took a photo.
Play
and
it to him.
he said that he heard us talking about him on the program, and yeah, it was.
I feel like he
was
heard
a
us
brief
talking
encounter.
about him on the program, and kind of maybe something got miswired there.
Listen,
The "you know
Well,
who I
I'm gonna
am"
intro
greeting
myself.
is
I don't know if it
not
was
the move when you're crazy.
exactly, but it was like,
Do you know who I am?
you know,
That's a rough
You're really
one.
giving him a bad rate.
I'm just saying.
I'm crazy.
No.
You're also like, Crazy Kev here. Do you
No.
know who I
You know who
am?
I am?
Meanwhile, the real
they're-
interaction was like, "Mr. Helwani, sir."
They're
take it
trying
easy.
to
Thank you
spin
so
this
much."
into something else.
Oh, come on, bro. He said, "Hey, Ariel." how's
That's
it
how I
going?"
introduced myself to Shane Gillis too. I was like, "It's me."
It's me. Here I am. You know me.
The name's Kev.
Crazy.
Crazy. Thanks, Frank. Appreciate it, man. You can just
Yeah.
punchline. No
There
worries,
was-
dude.
Fuck your punchline.
Dramatic
Couldn't give me a
pause.
second to pause.
Yeah.
There.
What else, Frank?
Here's
What
a
else?
punchline.
Like I said, not much there. I mean, with Ariel Helwani, I mean, he follows one of the guys from the media from Canada that's like massive hater of me, and like I've talked to him a good bit and like trying to squash whatever beef he has with me. I think it's just pure jealousy, and like who cares? You know what I mean? I don't really care about that dude. And if I was in Ariel's position and I was seeing like this guy constantly hating on me all the time, I probably would also call me a weirdo guy. So I mean, like I said, his words don't really affect me. I mean, I met Ariel in person. He was very nice. I was very nice to him as well. I just told him to keep up the good work. And that's really all you can really do. You know what I mean? If Ariel still thinks I'm weird or he still has a bad opinion about me, there's not much I can really do. And, it is what it is. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, my content's never going to change because of Ariel Helwani's opinion or really anyone's opinion. You know what I mean? Like, of course, I want to put out the best content possible. I'm not looking to be a negative influence on anybody, but at the end of the day, it's just like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna cry over a comment of, oh, Ariel Helwani said this on my show, I gotta stop doing this or that. You know what I mean? So let's get into the fights here with Bare Knuckle. I mean, Bare Knuckle insanity when it comes to the co-main event. I mean, the queen of violence here, just lighting up her opponent, breaking her nose. Like, that was just sickening to watch, man. Like, just crazy. Just like watching her like just brutalize her with that right hand over the top, snapping her nose. Like, that's what I'm talking about. Like, in the UFC, you'll see this stuff, but like Bare Knuckle, like that was just brutal. And like the arena's not that big, so like you could hear everything right away. And it's just like, wow, like, you know what I mean? Like, that was just insane to watch live, and just like, wow, you know what I mean? That's all I can really say about that. Wow. Now, when it comes to Mike Perry's fight, just a brutal back and forth bout. You know what I mean? Mike Perry just started taking over. He was obviously the bigger guy going into that fight and just looked a lot bigger than him in the ring. And yeah, I mean, Jeremy Stevens did his thing for as long as he could. I honestly think Jeremy Stevens could have potentially lasted the bell. You know what I mean? They did stop it, but I mean, I think that was good for Jeremy. I mean, he was getting lit up towards the end of the fight, and Jeremy Stevens fought his heart out. I mean, he definitely gave it his all, but I mean, Mike Perry's just a different animal in Bare Knuckle. He's obviously a lot bigger fighter, and yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what they do next for Mike Perry. I personally think they're going to run it back, you know what I mean? Maybe in Knucklemania. That's what my take is on that fight, but again, I wouldn't be surprised if Mike Perry gets somebody else, but just like who else is really out there to fight a guy like Mike Perry and give him a solid fight like that. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they kind of do. And that's my take on Mike Perry versus Jeremy Stevens. Next up, we're going to talk about the press conference here. With the press conference, I really enjoyed it because it was just a great vibe. I mean, it was David Feldman's birthday, so we all got to sing him happy birthday. He was talking about, how we didn't get a cake. Then someone ended up bringing him a cake, not like a media member. I guess it was someone from the BKFC staff. So pretty cool. They ended up getting a cake like he wanted. Pretty cool just to sit and listen to David Feldman talk about what's next and just all different media members' questions. Really awesome. Then obviously McGregor coming in, just almost like a dream, you know what I mean? Like, wow, like I'm a media member, like sitting here listening to McGregor talk. I was dying to get a question for McGregor, but there was obviously way bigger media guys like working for way bigger platforms. So, hats off to those guys for getting good questions. And everyone asked really good stuff, you know what I mean? It wasn't like, damn, like, you know what I mean? Like this guy asked a stupid ass question and like they didn't ask my question. So, can't complain. And like I said, I'm a new guy. It is what it is. As I keep growing, I'm sure eventually I'll definitely get some questions in from McGregor, and that's the goal. You know what I mean? It's just more motivation at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Like, can't cry about it because like they're working for DAZN and like wherever else. You know what I mean? Like they deserve it. You know what I mean? And one day it's gonna be me. You know what I mean? That's just the mindset I have. You know what I mean? So one day it will be me. That's all that matters. If you guys were wondering, my question to McGregor was just going to be this. I wanted to ask McGregor what in particular made him want to invest with bare knuckle boxing. You know what I mean? Obviously, it's a very violent sport, and I'm sure that was maybe one of the main reasons. But was there something in particular, I guess, that kind of caught his eye, caught his attention with it? And then what was maybe some of his favorite memories that he's had being a part of bare knuckle? Because he mentioned a lot that he really liked the family aspect of it because with bare knuckle, they have a lot of like guys that are like super close to the company, a lot of family oriented stuff. And, I just wanted to kind of see what his take was with it and, what maybe his favorite memories were with it. So if McGregor, anyone from bare knuckle is watching this and would like to shoot him over that question, I would love to hear his answer because, like I said, it was really awesome to listen to McGregor talk at the press conference because it seemed like he's finally trying to go in the right direction because obviously, it seems like he might have some issues with maybe drugs on the side and like alcohol, with his stardom, but it seems like, he really does want to potentially come back to the White House. Do I think he's actually going to fight again? Personally, I don't right now, but I do think McGregor is kind of trying to clean his act up a little bit and maybe try to get a realistic push back to the UFC. We'll see. Like I said, never say never with him, but I don't have the highest of hopes of him ever returning to fight again. But I do think, if anything, maybe he's trying to cut back a little bit on the partying, cut back a little bit on the drugs, and get back to normal. And I really hope he does because McGregor's the man when he was in his prime, at least. You know what I mean? He had so many great moments with combat sports. He literally changed the sport for the better. And without him, the sport wouldn't be where it's at today. And that's just facts. You know what I mean? So hopefully McGregor can kind of do his thing, get back to normal, and, maybe give us one more fun fight at the White House. That's really all that matters. And, if he has that one more fun fight, I think he mentioned he was getting his contract reworked. I could be lying on that, not 100%, but if he gets his contract reworked, maybe gets one more fight with the UFC, with the White House, and then maybe if he's able to get out of his contract and fight one in bare knuckle with Mike Perry or like Jeremy Stevens, I mean, that'd be pretty interesting. You know what I mean? I'm almost more interested in watching McGregor in bare knuckle anymore, just because, like, who knows how much he's even training grappling anymore or just training in general. So if he's willing to fight bare knuckle, I mean, why not? You know what I mean? That's my take on it. Moving along to UFC 320 here. Obviously, a lot of crazy fights, a lot of crazy news. So with this being a couple days after the card, I was able to kind of hear about, like, what as everyone has seen, Magomed Ankalaev getting his rib injury. I have asked around a little bit to people that would kind of know some insiders stuff with Magomed's injury. And they did confirm that this happened. They did mention he was having some trouble training in his training camp as well. So, like I said, they did kind of confirm that video was real that journalist Leo put out from Brazil. I do think it's interesting that Leo was able to get that video because he did obviously interview someone from Magomed's team a couple days before the fight, or at least he released it a couple days before the fight. So I'm almost wondering if that was like a potential potential guy that maybe leaked that video to Leo. You know what I mean? Because it's like, how did a guy from Brazil get a video like from a Russian side? You know what I mean? So definitely had to be someone that kind of rat it, in my opinion. So like I said, that's my conspiracy on it. Obviously, we'll probably never know who leaked that video to him, but hey, he did an interview with a guy that was someone from Magomed's camp. Then he magically got this very viral video that everyone has seen and talked about. And then another thing that's interesting as well is like everyone's been posting as well. Alex was hitting his ribs a lot as well too in that fight. Like when he dropped him, hitting the ribs with those elbows. Alex, fought him heavy with the pressure. I mean, I don't know, man. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if Alex at least knew about this injury or heard whispers about it. You know what I mean? Because it's like, with Jared Gordon, getting ran over by the car, and then the odds were dropping. It's like, the people talk. You know what I mean? And I feel like there's a decent chance that Alex at least knew about or heard whispers about this injury. And like I said, it obviously changed the course of the fight for Magomed, and it's unfortunate for Magomed because obviously he didn't want to pull out of this fight, but it's always going to mess up his legacy. We're probably not going to get a trilogy, maybe even that fight ever again anyways. So it's a real bummer on everyone's side, but at the end of the day, I mean, Alex did his thing, and it could just be excuses. You know what I mean? Like Alex did his thing. I'm not trying to take anything away from his performance, but yeah, it just sucks. You know what I mean? That's just all it comes down to. But every fighter's banged up. Every fighter's dealing with something. Every camp, every fight. Alex wasn't 100% his first fight with Magomed, so it's like it is what it is. But again, it's just kind of a shitty situation for each side. But whatever, I guess. We move on. Moving on. Merab beats Corey Sandhagen. I mean, no surprise here, in my opinion. I mean, Merab is Merab. There was just no way that Corey Sandhagen was going to win this fight. I mean, you watch Corey Sandhagen get dogged by Aljo, and then Merab and Aljo train all the time. I mean, there was just really like no interest, no excitement for me going into this fight. I mean, I knew Merab was going to do his thing. I was more hoping Merab could have got a finish on the feet or just in general because, like I said, this to me was like a pretty layup style fight for Merab. Corey Sandhagen is a great fighter. I mean, which is, like I said, which is kind of crazy for me to say, like, this is a layup fight. But, I mean, Merab is just better than him pretty much everywhere, and he showed that in this fight. Boring or not, I mean, you can't deny Merab anymore. I mean, he's so active. He's always willing to take on everyone, and his resume is just insane, like insane. I know he's ranked as the pound-for-pound number 3 right now, but there's honestly a strong argument that you could make Merab as pound-for-pound number 1 right now. I mean, the guys he's beat in a row, end of the day, it's just like nobody's stopping that guy for a long time. I hope Merab gets the rematch with Peter Yan. Again, I'm not super interested in that fight. I don't really think that one's going to go a ton different as well, but I mean, hey, why not? It's another good name for his resume. When it comes to Merab, I do think there's 2 fighters that could potentially give him his hardest test, and they're fighting each other, Umar and Mario Batista. Now, this might sound crazy, but I do think Mario Batista has a better chance of beating Merab than Umar, just because I think Merab just kind of showed like, hey, he's able to edge out Umar. He was better in the striking. He was able to out cardio him. It's going to be hard for Umar to kind of beat Merab, in my opinion. I mean, can he do it? Absolutely. But I'm not too sure if he's actually going to be the guy. I do think Mario Batista's style is just a little bit better for beating a guy like Merab. And we'll see. I mean, Mario has to get past Umar first. But like I said, I would much rather like to see Mario versus Merab in the future because I really think that's a really interesting fight. And I think if Merab is able to beat Mario, I don't think there's anyone that's going to beat Merab for a very long time, if ever. I mean, this guy's just incredible. And like I said, greatest bantamweight of all time. Definitely, in my opinion, my pound-for-pound number 1. Moving along here, we have Yuri Prochazka fighting against Khalil Roundtree. One of the best fights we've ever seen. Yuri is the man. I mean, in my opinion, I would much rather see Yuri Prochazka versus Alex Pereira again if Alex stays in the division. I mean, I don't really care about Carlos Ulberg versus Alex Pereira. Like, if it wasn't Alex Pereira, like, I honestly wouldn't be surprised if that was like an Apex style fight. You know what I mean? Like, Ulberg is cool, but like, I don't know. Like, where's the excitement in that fight? Like, you know what I mean? Like, do people really think like Carl Ulberg is gonna beat him? Like, I don't. I don't think Carl Ulberg has a chance. And like, and like how? You know what I mean? Oh, he's gonna knock Alex Pereira out. He's gonna out grapple him. Like, what is he gonna do? Like, honestly, like I feel like it's a sacrificial lamb. Like, it's just it's almost to me like Merab versus Corey Sandhagen. It's like we have to do it because they're in the rankings. But Carl Zollberg is going to get smoked, in my opinion. Smoked. First round KO. What Alex will do whatever he wants to that guy. You know what I mean? And then Ulberg will just go back to doing what he's doing. Like, you know what I mean? Light heavyweight's in a weird spot with the contenders. Zero, and I mean zero interest in watching Ulberg get this fight. And I just don't care about it. Like I said, I hope Alex Pereira moves up and it's Yuri versus Ulberg. It'll be a little bit more interesting to me. I still think Yuri gets the win, but I mean, whatever. I mean, Ulberg's like, he's good, but like, he's not a guy that like I think is ever going to become champion. You know what I mean? He could become champion if Yuri and Alex each leave light heavyweight, I guess. But like, other than that, I don't think that guy's ever going to be champ. And I definitely don't care about him fighting Alex Pereira. I mean, you guys can argue with me in the comments about it, but I mean, there are people like really like, oh, I really need to see Carlos Ulberg versus Alex Pereira. Like, that ain't gonna sell out arenas. Like that, like I said, that would maybe sell out the Apex. That's about it. You know what I mean? If it wasn't for Alex Pereira having the stardom he does, Apex level fight, 100%. Yusuf Zalal versus Josh Emmett. Man, this was so cool watching Yusuf Zalal just do his thing, man. I freaking love Zalal because I actually, fun fact about Zalal, when I first started doing interviews, like Zalal was in like my first 20 guys I ever interviewed. And with Zalal, I actually booked it, I think the day he got the call to fight Billy Q. And like we were messaging through email and I show up for the interview and he messages me like maybe 20 minutes before we're about to start. He's like, hey man, like I can't do it right now. Like I had something important come up and we'll rebook it. And I was like, no, like, you know what I mean? Like that was like the first guy that like ever rebooked on me. I was so bummed. And then we rebooked it like later in the week, just did a regular interview. And then at the end, he was like, you guys are going to see me in the UFC real soon or something along those lines. Maybe I can clip it and add in the video right here. And yeah, so after he said that, I like was like, okay, like, like he's just saying it to say it, obviously. And yeah, and then later that week, or like very soon, if it wasn't that week, you know what I mean? Like not long after the interview, at least, his fight gets announced with Billy Q. And I'm like shocked. I'm like, damn, like, you know what I mean? Like this guy knew the whole time he was fighting Billy Q, and like he just played it so cool like that. But like just so cool to watch this guy like do his thing. Rank number 7, smoke Josh Emmett, just been a submission machine. Awesome dude. Like I said, I don't understand why he gets hate. Super nice guy. One of the nicest fighters I ever met for sure. And just a submission machine. I mean, and on top of it, he's been finishing a lot of fighters. He's always interesting. I mean, he had one boring fight, but I mean, every fighter has at least one boring fight most of the time. And I enjoy Zalal. I don't understand why people hate on him. And Zalal's the man. He's calling out Lerone Murphy. I think that's a good one. I wouldn't mind Gene Silva if he's able to return in December. That's who I booked for Matchmaker Monday. I also wouldn't mind Mavsar if he's available for December. I don't know if Zalal wants that fight. He hasn't mentioned his name yet, but I mean, I don't think he's necessarily scared of him. I think he just thinks that Lerone is probably a better matchup, and I would definitely agree. I think Mavsar is a scary fighter and the potential future champion. So, yeah, like I said, Zalal versus Lerone Murphy. If Murphy's not going to be fighting in December, or I'm sorry, if he's not going to be fighting in February against Volk, definitely think that's a fun one to kind of run. Joe Pyfer versus a Boost. I mean, guys, people forget, man. Joe Pyfer, he got his BJJ black belt not too long ago. I mean, Joe Pyfer just makes a Boost tap. Officer Pyfer gets an arrest. I mean, he's just a man, you know what I mean? I love Joe Pyfer. I mean, I'm obviously biased because I'm from Philadelphia, and I know some people that are close to Joe Pyfer, like his girlfriend and like their siblings. So definitely very biased towards Joe Pyfer. I'll be very open about it, but always a super nice guy when you meet him. I mean, he's obviously pretty funny in the media, you know what I mean? He's always like a little hot-headed about certain things, but I just think that's the Philly vibes, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of people from Philly are like that, and I don't blame it, dude. You know what I mean? But all in all, solid dude, solid fighter. He was just on the Ariel Helwani show today at the time of the recording and saying that he wants guys like Marvin Vettori, Dolidze, and Cannonier. All three are solid matchups for him. I personally would like to see him fight the winner of Vettori versus Bruno Ferreira. That's what I booked for Matchmaker Monday. I think Marvin Vettori is going to get that one done. Don't know how quick Vettori is going to turn around, but I mean, I definitely would love to see Joe Pyfer fight him. Dolidze is another good one. I don't know what his schedule is kind of looking like. And Cannonier, I think, is definitely the toughest one. I think Cannonier probably also has the best shot of beating Joe Pyfer. I'm not sure if he actually does beat him, but you know what I mean? Like out of the three, I definitely think that's probably the scariest matchup for Pyfer. So I would probably, if I could, definitely try and stay away from him and try and get the Dolidze and Vettori. Again, I don't think Cannonier is like the guy to beat him, but I do think that's like one of those fights where it's like, all right, you know, if you can kind of get Dolidze and Vettori, definitely stick with those two. You know what I mean? I did think it was interesting that Joe Pyfer mentioned that he didn't want to fight Paulo Costa due to his inactivity. I mean, I would 100% agree. However, I was a little bummed that he said that just because I do think that's a big, like, potential money fight for him. I do feel like, number one, I feel like that's a beatable, I feel like that's a winnable fight for Joe Pyfer. And I also feel like as well, too, like, that would just help him, like, name value-wise. Like, wow, like, you'd be like Paulo Costa, like, he's on your resume now, like, I really like that for him, but I do understand his point of like, you know, Paulo Costa's inactive. You can't trust him. He might not make weight. There's just so many moving factors with him. So I think Joe Pyfer is like one of the smart fighters where like he's understanding who he's fighting. He wants a good fight for his side. And like, that's important. You know what I mean? You can't fight everybody in the UFC. Like you can't just take every matchup they give you. You have to be smart with your career. It's a business. Joe Pyfer has a lot of hype to him, and you don't want to lose your hype on a guy like Paulo Costa because Paulo Costa is a very big name. You know, I mean, losing to him, the memes are going to come. People are going to start falling off the train. You just don't need that. You know what I mean? Like he already took a big loss with Jack Hermanson, and luckily Jack Hermanson's now he's going to be out of division fighting Orobai now. So, like I said, he doesn't need any more like big losses. He needs to just focus on taking another fight like Vettori, Dolidze, maybe Cannonier, and kind of going from there. All in all, I think UFC 320 was a really awesome card. Saturday was just an awesome night for fights. I mean, bare knuckle was awesome. Can't wait to go back again in February. That's going to be a great time. I'm going to be working media as well. I've already talked to some of the guys at bare knuckle, and they told me they're definitely going to get me in. Super stoked. Very appreciative, and can't wait for that. And UFC 320 was definitely an awesome card. Had a lot of fun watching that one back and just, you know, seeing how the fighters have kind of done their call outs afterwards, kind of seeing where they think everything's going to go. And guys, this is Crazy Kev, and I don't miss.